Hello everyone. In this session, I would like to discuss about one main stack application. Let me draw the flow first. I'm using my Angular is like a client-side application, and my database is like a Mongo database. To connect with the database, I'm using my middleware is like a server-side application node one. So this is my client one. This is Angular, and my server-side application is like what? Node. My server-side application is like Node with Express. The next one, this is my database. My database is like Mongo database. So let me explain the requirement. Okay, simple requirement. I have two fields. One is like name, another one is like roll number. One button, submit button. Now, at the time of clicking on this particular button, submit button, whatever you enter the data, this data has to store within my database. That's it. That's our requirement. So that if you want to store this data within the database, my client application directly not able to communicate with the database. So that my client application needs some help. Okay, who is going to help to connect with the database means one middleware is going to help. That middleware we can say like a server-side application. So that my client-side application is going to connect with the server-side guy. My client connected with the server, we can say like a sending request. We can say like a request. Once you send the request to my client, once my request sent by the client to my server, what my server side guy is going to do, he receive the request first. Receive the request. After that, he take the data from the request. Take the data from request. Once you taken the data has to insert within the Mongo, right? So that connect with the DB. Connect with the DB. Once you connect with the DB, do required operation. Once my operation is completed, send the response back to client. These operations take care by whom? A server side guy. For that purpose, he is going to write one API call. One API call he is going to write. So here, this third one and fourth point is going to operate on your database. Once it is done, he is going to give the response back to my client. This request and response handled in the client side by using Ajax. This is my simple flow. So to develop this particular flow, okay, make it work. First, you have to create an Angular application. Already, I created one Angular application on my desktop by using Angular CLI. If you want to know how to create an Angular application using Angular CLI, just watch my Angular videos. You can get some more idea. Once you created, let me open that particular application in Visual Studio Code. Yes, this is my application. And run this application by using the command ng service the command. Once you run this one, you can see this application on your in your desktop with 4200 is the port number. 4200 is the port number. 4200 is the port number. Now see this. Hi, this is the message. Now here I don't want to show like hi. I want to show this particular template or not. So let me change that one first. Now come here. Where you have to write the code means go to your module. Okay, see this, the bootstrap component is like app component. Go to my app component. My template is like app component.html. Go to my app component.html. Here, this is the place to change or not. What do you want me to do? Just you can write one name. The next one is what? One text box. One text box. Like this, one more text box I want, one more button I want. Roll number. Okay, just you can remove this one. Here, my type equals to button and my value equals to submit. Yes, my template ready. After that, we can think about the functionality. Okay, at the time of clicking on the submit button, my request has to go to my server is nothing but my server application should be there. Okay, my server has to connect with the Mongo is nothing but Mongo server has to run or not. Okay, here my Mongo server has to run. First, my Mongo server has to run. Inside that one, you have to create one database. Inside that one, you have to create one collection. Inside that one, you have to insert one document. this is my hierarchy or not. So that first create one node application and then connect that node application with my Mongo. So that first create one node application. Okay, how I can create node application? You know, I already created. This is my node application by using Express. If you want to know how to create a node application by using Express, just watch my videos, my node videos. You can watch it. You can get an idea. So let me open this one in Visual Studio Code. Yes, I opened. At the same time, I run this application on my port number. Say this here in my app.js. This is the code just I added. App.listen is like 2020. Okay, here node app is running. So that my node application is running on 2020 port number. Okay, what type of code you have to write? Okay, what API call, where you have to write? Always, okay, you have to write these API calls in the routes. Okay, I will tell. First, my node application is running. My node application is running. Okay, done. Once my node application is running, my node application has to connect with Mongo, right? So let's concentrate on Mongo. Okay, make that Mongo server is running, create the database, create the collection. Okay, these things you can complete in the Mongo side. So that first, install MongoDB software. Okay, these are two softwares I want. MongoDB install. It's an open source. The next one GUI, graphical user interface. Okay, one UI tool that is okay, GUI tool that is like Mongo Compass. Okay, these two are like open source softwares. Just install. Both I installed so that if you install Mongo software in your C drive, you can see that MongoDB folder. Yes, this is the one. Okay, once you install, you can find this folder in your C drive and go to MongoDB server and version and bin. Here you have to start your Mongo server. Open your command prompt here. Okay, how you can run your Mongo server means it's very simple thing. First, before start this one, just open, right? Okay, my bin folder, my command prompt open on bin folder, and then go to any D drive or E drive or whatever it is. Okay, go here. Just create one folder, whatever it is. Okay, my meme stack Mongo. Okay, this is my folder. This folder you can give to this particular Mongo server. They are going to use this folder to place collections and everything. So that copy this folder. While running your Mongo, just specify this particular space. Okay, folder path. So how we can run your Mongo server? You know, Mongo D is the command. After that, you can specify the path, db path. Okay, the path is like d my classes main Mongo. Okay, like this you can put it. Okay, just click on enter. If I click on enter, see this. Here nothing is there. See, now you can find something. Yeah, see this. Some data placed or not. Okay, now you can conclude like yes, my Mongo server is running. Yes, my Mongo server is running. If you want to connect with your MongoDB, this server always should up and run. Okay, now my Mongo is up and running. I want to connect with my Mongo server by using Compass. So that how we can MongoDB Compass. That is like a GUI tool to connect with your MongoDB server. Just wait. Okay, it's open. This is your MongoDB Compass. It's also open source. I already told you MongoDB also open source and Mongo Compass also open source. It's like just we are going to use this Mongo Compass to connect with your MongoDB. That's it. Okay, now it's loading all the plugins. Okay, there has one plugin. Just wait. Let's take some time. Yeah, it's loading already, almost done. Yeah, loaded. Now I want to connect with your Mongo. The previous connections and everything, just remove it. Just remove these previous connections, whatever we have. Just I remove. Now it looks like this. Now you can fill this. My Mongo is running on localhost. Default port number is like 27017. Okay, authentication none. Just click on connect. Say this. Now I'm able to connect with my Mongo server. When we can connect, you know, if my Mongo server is running, then only we can connect. Okay, once it is done, create your database. See this. Mongo server is running, create database and create collection. So create one database. What is my database name? School is my database, students is my collection. School is my database, students is my collection. Now see, school is my database, students is my collection. There is no documents, nothing. There is no documents, nothing. Perfect. Now, yes, my Mongo is up and running. So how we can check it is up and running means if it is like this, it's up and running. If it is stopped, then the time you have to start again. Now, my Mongo is ready now. So by using my node application only, right? We have to connect with your Mongo. So write one API call, write one endpoint in the node application. Now open this one. This is my node application. And see this in the routes folder, there has two files are there. Use one of the file to write your endpoint. Here I want to write it. My router dot post is the method. Why? Because I want to insert the new record. Register student is my path name. After that, you can write the function open one and closed one. This function takes like three arguments: request, comma, response, comma, next. Now, if you observe here, see, receive the request is nothing but if this callback method executed is nothing but yes, received, my request received. After that, you have to take the data from the request, right? This is my request, you can take the data. So constant my data equals to request.body.data. Request.body.data. By seeing this one, you can understand. Request.body is nothing but it is coming in the form of JSON, whose key is like data. Okay, in my Mongo, if you want to insert that data inside the collection, my document is always in the JSON object format, so that this data should be JSON object. Okay, that data directly we are going to insert your Mongo. Yes, I taken the data from the request. The next one is what? You have to connect with your DB, MongoDB. If you want to connect with your MongoDB, I have one library is there. You have to install that library. Library name, you know, what is that? npm install MongoDB is my library name. MongoDB is my library name. While installing this library, my internet should be enabled. Your internet should be enabled. Why? You know, this particular MongoDB we are downloading from cloud to your local machine. Cloud to your local machine. Make sure this particular while running this command, your internet should be enabled. Then only it will download your library successfully into your application. Okay, once you download it successfully, then you can see this Mongo in your package.json. See this. Okay, here so far there has 6 libraries out there. Now I'm installing one more library, what? MongoDB. Still it's going on. Once it is done, you can see one more. See here, my MongoDB is there or not. You can find the MongoDB. So now you can use the MongoDB. How we can use, you know, first of all, get the MongoDB. Where my MongoDB equals to require my MongoDB. Now, if you want to connect with the MongoDB, simple. Get the Mongo client first. Constant my Mongo client equals to my MongoDB dot Mongo client. Inside my Mongo client object, there has one method is there. Connect is the method. It takes one URL as an argument. My URL is this one. Where my URL is my constant, you can say my constant URL equals to my MongoDB. Okay, where it is running in my local host. 27017 is the port number. 27017 is the port number. Use that one. That is my URL. This is my URL. Okay, once you provided this URL, my Mongo client try to connect with this particular Mongo server. Okay, after some time, it is going to call one callback method with some successful response or failure response. If it is like a failure, error. If it is like success, it is going to connect with the Mongo server. Now here we can write if error is there, you can send it response.send off your error. Else if it is like success, you are connecting with what? You are connecting with the server. Inside the server, how many DBs are there? 1 2 3 4 databases are there. Our database is like school database, so that from my server take the database, so that where or constant my DB equals to from my server my database, you can take it. What is my database name? School is my database. Okay, once you take in the database, okay, from the database you have to take the collection. My constant, my collection equals to db dot collection. What is my collection name? Students is my collection. Students is my collection. See this? School and students is my collection. Now, once you have the collection, you have to insert this data inside the collection or not. So how we can? My collection dot insert one is the method. Inside this collection, this data you have to insert. This data you have to insert. While inserting, you may successfully insert that particular object or you may fail. So that it call this callback method with success or failure response, either error response or success response. If it is like a error, if it is like error, you can give the error response back. If it is like a success, you can give the success response back. You can give the success response back. Done. Now my endpoint ready. Now my endpoint ready. Yes, my code also pushed and my node application is restarted. Restarted. So I want to check, is it really this endpoint is working or not? I want to check by using advanced REST client. So that take it, open the advanced REST client. What is my URL? My method is like post http localhost 2020. My application is running on localhost 2020 only. This is only the proof. It is running on localhost 2020. And then my endpoint inside the users file, my users file path, if you observe, see this is my users file. That users file path is like users. So that you can go to users. After that, inside the users file, my path is like what? Register student. Register student is my path. Yes, register student is my path. And then you have to pass the data in the object format. In the object format, if you come here, the data is the key. My data is the key, and my value is like a one object. Value like is a one object. That object contains, you know what it contains? Name. Name is like student one, and my roll number is like 1. This is my data format. Now make sure this is like running or not. Yes, my node server is running, my Mongo server is running, no problem at all. Can we click on this send? Can we click on this send? Now if you observe here, see, acknowledge true inserted ID is this one. Acknowledge true is nothing but successfully inserted with this ID. Like this, one acknowledgement they are going to provide. Now if you come here in the students collection, documents are like 0. Now if I refresh the students one, you can see one extra document. Yes, my document inserted or not. That means my endpoint is working as expected or not. Now done. My server side port is completed. It is successfully connected with Mongo and is able to insert the data within the Mongo or not. Now I don't want to insert the collection data. I don't want to insert the document data from my advanced REST client. I want to insert from my where Angular application or not. So that let's start with my Angular. Now come here in my Angular application. If I enter some data at the time of clicking on the submit button, you have to send this data to my server. So that let's write the code. Come here. This is my Angular application. First of all, handle the click event. My click is the event. So one method I want to execute, function submit is my method. Function submit is my method. Copy this one. Come here. Just call this method. Function submit. Okay, just write the console. Is it like working or not? Console. Okay, function submit call. Submit call. Now come here. See my server client side application and inspect it. And go to just right click on that one, inspect it. Okay, sometimes if it is not work, okay, just open this one, inspect here itself. Yeah, it is inspected. Now it gives me some console message. Say this. Okay, come here. If I click on submit button, see, function submit is not a function, he said. Some error. Okay, come here, just check it. Now come here. If I click on this one, yeah, my function submit called or not. My function submit called. Now you have to take the data from the text boxes. So that how we can take the data from the text box? By using the directive called as a ng model. So right, ng model is my directive. Okay, I want to take the data in the object format, so that my object name is like data. Inside the data name is like one property. Like this I want to take it. So here also you can take it. Now if you write ng model, then the time you have to import the forms module. Say this ng model is not a known property. You have to import the forms module. Go to my module app.module.ts, just import the forms module. Okay, how you can import? Now import from @angular forms is there. Here you can take like forms module. Okay, you can take this forms module and you can add it in the imports. Now you can avoid that type of error. Okay, it's not a known property or something. Now can we refresh the page? Now see, still there has some errors, or there. See, cannot read property name of undefined, like that. So why this error you can get it? This particular data is not defined, so you can define that particular data object. My data is like a object type, just you can put like this. Okay, now you should not get any errors. Yes. Okay, done. Now at the time of clicking on this particular button, you have to send one request to the server or not. You have to send one request to the server. If you want to send one request to the server, as a client side developer, what inputs are required? I want the URL. Yes, I want the request method. Both are there. At the same time, I want the data format also. These three inputs with you or not, so that we can send the request to the server. If you want to send the request, if you want to handle the Ajax in your Angular, we have one module is there, that is like HTTP client module. First of all, that module you can import here. HTTP client module. Import. My module name is what? @Angular common. Inside this HTTP is module is there. My module name is named HTTP client module. So this is my module. Okay, inside this module there has one class is there. That class name is like a HTTP client is the class. By using that class only we can handle the Ajax. So that you can use @Angular common HTTP. The class name is like what? HTTP client is my class. So if you want to use the class, you should have to create an object through constructor. Okay, through dependency injection, we can create an object for this particular class. Private, this is my object name. My class name is like what? HTTP client is my class name. Yes, my object created for this particular class. Now by using this object, you can send a request to the server. How we can send? This dot HTTP dot post is the method. See, these are the details to send the request. Post is the method. This is my URL. And my data format should be what? My data format should be an object with data as a key. My data format should be an object with my data as a key. Here my data as a key is okay. The next form data. My form data we are going to keep inside this data or not, so that you can use like data. That's it. Okay, this is my variable, so that you can use like what? This dot data. Now you are sending a post request to this URL with this data. Once you send the request, my HTTP object post method returns me an observable. Any method returns observable we can handle by using subscribe. My subscribe first callback is used for to handle success response. My subscribe second callback is used for to handle failure response. Okay, now come here. You can put the debugger itself. Okay, done. Now come here. Yes, my app is up and running. Now you can enter some data. Okay, it gives me some error. Just you can do that one. App component HTTP client. Where no provider for HTTP client is set. Now come here. my constructor private HTTP client. Just save this one in the app module. See this here. Whatever the module you imported, just you have to specify inside the imports. Okay, that was missing. Now it should work. Yes. Now here my student name already here S1 inserted, right? Can we insert like S2? Student name is like S2. Here also S2, here also S2. Why? Because same ng model we are using. So that can we make like this is like roll number. This is like roll number. Yes. My student name is like S2, roll number is like 2. If I click on the submit button, now see this. My subscribe second callback execute is nothing but my request failed. With what? Go to my console. See, there has some course issue. You are sending the request from localhost 4200 2020 port number or not. Okay, that means different port numbers. We are passing the request 4200 2020. So that my server side application has to receive the request which is coming from anywhere. Like that, you have to do some code changes or not in my server side application. So that in my server side application, if you want to handle the course, first of all, there has one library is there. That library name is like course. The name itself course. npm install my course -- save. This is my library. So why this exactly we get the course issue means you are sending the request from localhost 4200 to localhost 2020. If both are like different protocols or different host names or different port numbers, any one of these one is like different, my browser is going to stop your request to send to my server. So my server side application, you have to manage like my server side application has to receive the request from any protocol or any domain name or any port number. Like this you have to handle in your server side. So once my course is ready, go to my package.json, see my course you installed. Okay, now my course always you have to work on application level. So once it is done, you can import the course where my course equals to require my course. After this, once my app created, immediately you can use that course, my course. You can use like a function. Done. Now my server side application, we handle the course in my server side application. Now my server side application has the capability to handle the request which is coming from anywhere. Anywhere is nothing but different port number or different host name or different protocol. Now you can send the request. Now you can send the request. Now can you go to my console, go to my source, go to my network. Now see this. Okay, still it is pending. Is nothing but your Mongo server is stopped. See this. Your Mongo server is stopped. This is the problem. Now can we stop this one? Can we run your Mongo server? Can we run this Mongo server? Yes, the Mongo server is running. My Mongo server is running. Once my Mongo server is running, again it stopped. Don't worry about that one. You can start it. It's a simple thing. You can start it. Yes, my Mongo server is running. So now you can send the data. Now if I click on the submit, now see this. My response is what? Acknowledge is like true. Inserted is like this inserted ID. Can we go to your collection? Can you refresh this one? Yeah, see this data. This data inserted or not? This data inserted or not? So if you want to write some condition, if it is like success or failure, based on this one you can write the condition. This is my response. This is my response. Okay, my response dot acknowledge is like true. Okay, write like this. Can you go to your application? Okay, this is the one. Here if it is like a success, this is the one, right? If my response dot acknowledge is like true and my response dot what is that, inserted ID is there, that means you can say like yes, successfully inserted. Like this you can say. Now this response type should be what? Just you can mention any. Okay, then you can say like what? Alert is like a success. Once it is like success, you can refresh. Okay, that means reset your form. This dot data is like empty. If else you can say like alert is like a fail. Alert is like a fail. Okay, here something is went wrong in your server down or MongoDB down like that. Then the time just you can write something went wrong, went wrong. Like this you can handle it. Now come here. Now come here. Now check it. This is my application. Now my Mongo is running or not? First check, double check on that one. Yes, my Mongo server is running. Now, how many documents are there? Double check. Okay, 2 documents are there. Can we insert one more document? Yes, 3 and 3. Click on this one. Yeah, success. Now my form also reset. Can you check in the Mongo? Okay, in this collection, 2 documents are there. If I refresh, one more document is added or not. This is the way we can insert the data from my Angular to Mongo using the middleware is like what Node with Express. Thanks guys. Thanks for watching.